I do have it all together. I just forgot where I put it. Welcome to my audiobook of Who Needs Doctors. This is my way. What is your way? The way doesn't exist. There's not a doctor in America that practice medicine. They all practice allopathic reductionism. Allopathic reductionism is managing diseases, not curing diseases. This is not a doctor bashing book. This is a book about getting a clue. Let me start with Who Needs Doctors, page 1. My disclaimer. The contents of this book is for informational purposes only and is not intended to treat, diagnose, cure, or prevent any disease. You perform these remedies at your own risk. Please consult your physician regarding the recommendations made in this book. Testimonials do not guarantee that you will achieve the same or similar results. There are no warranties of any kind with respect to the material. And you use this book, and your use of this book implies your acceptance of my disclaimer. This book is dedicated to Devin Kale and Lauren Perkins. Introduction. The purpose of this book is to teach how to heal yourself and trade striving for arriving. Technology is so wonderful in 2023, we can do things that were impossible a year ago. In 1997, Dr. Larry Clark discovered that selenium is effective for curing cancer. Taking chemotherapy in 2023 is like buying a cassette tape player at the pawn shop. This procedure for treating cancer is outdated. In 2022, Americans gave $2 trillion to a healthcare that doesn't even know how to cure heartburn. How ironic that if you had acid reflux, your physician will reduce your stomach acid saying that you have too much when actually you don't have enough. I suggest you drink apple cider vinegar and watch how fast your problems disappear. I had to write this after seeing how many prescription drugs our elderly are being prescribed by their physician, not to mention the side effects are often worse than the disease. Senate document 264 says, and I quote, "Our soil is nutritionally deficient." That was back in 1936, and the problem has only gotten worse since we only put 3 nutrients in our soil: nitrogen, phosphorus, and potassium. For the record, your body needs 90 nutrients every day. Every nutrient you are missing can result in about 20 different diseases. Let that sink in. Your doctor will never tell you that this is the root of your problem. Benjamin Rush, over 200 years ago, suggested that we put in the Declaration of Independence the right to choose which healthcare we receive. It was not included, and our worst nightmare has come to pass of a monopoly on healthcare that encourages us to get the jab or possibly lose our job. I haven't had a vaccine as a result of learning which herbs and colloidal minerals address my problems. I get all my minerals from a company called Angevity, YOUNGEVITY.com. And I am not a distributor of the products or have a vested interest in you purchasing them. I do not work for this company, and I am not representing them. The only reason I am so passionate about their colloidal minerals is because the results I've received over the past 23 years. What makes these colloidal minerals different from other minerals is they are 98% absorbable. What are my credentials? Well, I worked for the past 14 years at my job and only miss one day. Physicians treat symptoms. My doctor has never cured my cancer, epilepsy, asthma, or arthritis. I had to do this myself, so I am 4 to my doctor's 0. These are my credentials. After giving me a blood test a week later, my doctor informed me that I was nutritionally deficient. Remind you, I take all 90 nutrients every day, so to say that I'm nutritionally deficient is like telling Snoop Dogg he don't smoke enough weed. Thanks to Dr. Joe Wallach, who sued the FDA 9 times and won 9 times. I can legally share this information with you. President Obama said that someone in America claims bankruptcy every 30 seconds over medical bills. I may never know who's watching my journey and being so inspired that they may eventually run circles around me when it comes to curing diseases. Chapter 1. How I got rid of my epilepsy after 15 years. I like to begin with a quote from Mark Twain, who said, "Be careful about reading health books. You may die from a misprint." It was around 1985 when I was driving and had a seizure. Thank God my friend was in the car who took control of the vehicle. I was having what we refer to as grandma seizures. My physician had me on Dilantians, which didn't prevent my seizures. In fact, it didn't even treat the symptoms. I probably would have taken this disease with me to my grave had I not read a book by Dr. Joe Wallach titled Rare Earths Forbidden Cures. If you have a child who has this problem, you'll be grateful to know that I cured my epilepsy with $5. Well, that's how much it cost back in the year of 2000. But today you can go to Walmart and buy it for $15. Just think, you paid $20 for this book, and with another $15, your epilepsy will be a thing of the past. I haven't had a seizure in 23 years because I bought a bottle of calcium, magnesium, and zinc. I bet you're saying it can't be that simple. I don't give advice. I only make suggestions. See if you have another seizure after the first bottle. I don't suggest you get it from Walmart because their minerals are not colloidal, which means, again, 98% absorbable. I will buy the Healthy Starter Pack for about $125 because it has all 90 nutrients everybody needs to be healthy. The only downside of taking herbs and minerals is that it might not solve your problem. But no one overdosed last year and died from too many nutrients. My physician told me there were no cures for epilepsy. Perhaps she was misinformed because if this was true, I would still be having seizures. Whether you believe minerals can cure or cannot cure, you're right. In the Bible, Job said, "That which I feared has come upon me." That's Job 3:25. If your doctor gave you a sugar pill and told you it was chemotherapy, your hair will begin to fall out. This is referred to as the nocebo effect. And positive beliefs creates the placebo effect. The law of attraction could be your best friend if you're focused on what you want, and your worst enemy if you're focused on what you don't want. It gives you what you're focused on, whether you want it or not. Soda neutralizes stomach acid by preventing you from absorbing nutrients into your bloodstream where it can heal the body. I suggest, to maximize potential, just go on a gluten-free diet and absolutely no soda. Vitamin B6 is also great for epilepsy. Let's go into chapter 2 on the 90 nutrients referred to as the Healthy Start Pack, PAK, pack. Just for the record, I am not anti-medication. There comes a time for antibiotics. Every form of healing has its place. Doctors specialize in trauma. This is their expertise, not curing diseases. 95% of Americans are minerally deficient and not aware of this, which explains why they've had the same problem for 10 years now. 3 John, 1st chapter, 2nd verse says, "Beloved, I wish above all things that thou mayest prosper and be in good health." Chapter 2. I'm going to read half this book, and then I'm going to save the other half for you when you read the book or purchase the book. Chapter 2, the algorithm of healthy people. This algorithm is the recipe for health, which is the Healthy Starter Pack from Angevine.com. It contains all 90 nutrients you need to be healthy. How can we have a healthy healthcare, a quality healthcare, when if our diseases are being treated by drugs and surgeries that only treat symptoms? When you take the vitamins and minerals out your food, all you have left is chemicals. Sickness and disease are running rampant because we're eating chemicals for food. How ironic that obese people are starving to death from lack of nutrients. The more they eat, the hungrier they become. Obesity is a mineral deficiency. Use the minerals called ASAP and watch how fast you lose weight. We have 41 million Americans taking antidepressants that are fraudulently marked as curing a chemical imbalance in the brain. There are no blood tests, x-rays, or brain scans to confirm these so-called mental disorders. Every 40 seconds, someone is involuntarily committed to a psychiatric institution, according to CCHR, Citizens Commissions on Human Rights. I personally believe that many of these recent school shootings is committed by someone on or withdrawing from psychiatric drugs. Every year it seems to get worse. We can change this madness by putting these kids on 90 nutrients every day. The Healthy Start Pack. For example, the first sign of a copper deficiency is gray hair. If you dye your hair, you're just treating the symptoms, and you still have a copper deficiency. The next sign is a stroke or an aneurysm. You could take one look at Albert Einstein and see that he had a copper deficiency. His doctor couldn't detect this by looking at the color of his hair. Guess what Einstein died from? Aortic aneurysm. We can't just cherry pick which minerals we want to take. If I had gray hair, I need to take 90 nutrients with emphasis on copper. Another example, if I had sickle cell anemia, the protocol is selenium, but I must take the Healthy Starter Pack along with it. If I have type 2 diabetes, I would take Sweet Ease, EZE, Sweet Ease. It doesn't have sugar inside. It's just the name they gave it, and it has chromium and vanadium inside. Chromium helps regulate glucose levels. Elizabeth Taylor has 17 hip replacement surgeries. If she had 17 hips, I can assume all surgeries were successful. I conclude that at least 15 of those surgeries was a waste of time because she only has 2 hips. What is the relevance? If I were her caretaker, I would put her on Ostro FX, which comes with the Healthy Starter Pack, plus Rebound, which athletes in the NFL and NBA are drinking. Plus, I put on the Bone and Joint Pack from Angevine.com. The protocol for cleansing your colon is a mineral called Colon FX. Where's it at here? Colon FX. A colonoscopy runs up a bill but doesn't clean, cure, or treat your colon. A study of 9,000 nurses found that those taking a multiple supplement reduced their risk of colon cancer by 75%. The American Cancer Society failed to give this information to the public, and so did the FDA. I was so constipated around the New Year's 2023. I went to the local vitamin store and got some herbal tea called Smooth Move. It worked like a charm. Your cholesterol, checking your cholesterol is $1 billion business that cures absolutely nothing. 85% of your brain's weight is made of cholesterol. When this myelin goes away from lowering your cholesterol, you get Alzheimer's. More on that later. You cannot make testosterone or estrogen without cholesterol. Therefore, high cholesterol just means you're sexy. Don't let them trick you into lowering your cholesterol so they can sell you Viagra. I know someone on 13 prescription drugs by their physician. If the diseases doesn't kill them, the side effects probably will. I don't know who to slap first, the patient or the doctor. You can eliminate half of your health problems in 3 months by just taking a Healthy Start Pack alone. If you were to go into a local health food store and purchase 90 nutrients, it would cost around $500 instead of the $125 you would pay at Angevine for the Healthy Start Pack. You would also be taking about 73 capsules a day to match the 2 bottles of tangerine and essential fatty acids. Disease homongering campaign has flooded the market with fake diseases. Google fake diseases and you'll find that leaky gut syndrome is a hypothetical medical condition that does not cause autism. Chronic Lyme disease is another example of health fraud. Antibiotics are not safe treatment for fibromyalgia. Avoid fried foods. Vegetable oil, margarine, salad dressings if you have fibromyalgia called stiff lamb disease or muscular dystrophy. Instead, take selenium, vitamin E, sulfur amino acids, as Dr. Joe Wallach says on page 213 in his book titled Let's Play Doctor, Chapter 2, How I Got Rid of My Asthma After 59 Years. I can't recall how many times I cured my asthma only for it to come back shortly thereafter. I was on a breathing machine that I had to take with me to work, and my boss was looking at me like, as if to say, you're not going to die on the clock, are you? To add insult to injury, my physician kept telling me there were no cures for asthma. I'm sure you're under the same impression. I don't want to leave you with the impression that all you have to do is pop a few vitamins and drink some colloidal minerals and all your problems will go away. It's a lifestyle. There's a reason it's called 90 for life. Just like you need water and oxygen for the rest of your life, you also need 90 nutrients for the rest of your life. I was taking tangerine in the powder form, which I put in my green tea, but it didn't cure my asthma. Then I heard about BTT, Beyond Tangerine, absolutely, in the form of pills. I take 4 pills a day, and it worked like magic. My asthma was gone in less than 2 months. After telling everybody I cured my asthma, I had another asthma attack. What happened? Well, I was in denial. My problem was I was still smoking cigarettes. This is the reason my asthma kept returning again. It's a lifestyle. You must stop doing the things that cause your problems before you can attempt to cure it. It's almost been 2 years now, and I haven't had an asthma attack because my asthma hasn't returned. If you have epilepsy, for example, what are you doing to cause seizures? If you have cancer, what did you do to attract cancer in the first place? Are you eating processed meats like bacon and sausage? These has nitrates inside that causes cancer. These are the questions you must ask before we administer protocol to correcting it. I also cut down on gluten I was consuming. Some of you eat gluten for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. This will mess up your digestive system and cause many problems. It's one thing to read and write a book about health and nutrition. It's another thing to live it. Many of our problems are the result of poor digestion. We need salt to make stomach acid. Many people avoid salt because they're taught that salt is bad for the body. This is why they have difficulties getting rid of that stomach, because they have problems digesting food without salt. Salt doesn't cause high blood pressure. That's a misnomer. Yeah, and a myth, I might add. All minerals are not created equal. Colloidal minerals are 98% absorbable. Any other mineral will just give you expensive urine. Chapter 3. We got one more chapter left, and I'll be halfway through the book. So we got about 15 minutes left, 10 minutes left, and we'll be done. Chapter 3, high blood pressure. There are no incurable diseases, only incurable people who don't want to be cured. When you're sick of being sick, you'll get well. Meditate every morning, even if you're saying that you have difficulty meditating, consider the fact that you meditate each and every day. You're just meditating on the wrong things that causes stress. Yeah, ain't that something? Worry is a misuse of your imagination. Anxiety gains a life of its own, parasitically infesting your mind. Refuse to waste energy worrying, and you'll have the strength to spare. That's a quote from Sarah Young. Eating fried foods also cause high blood pressure, cause our blood pressures to rise by clogging your arteries. Your doctor will then put you on blood thinners instead of opening your arteries with Ultimate Daily Tablets. This is Ultimate Daily. Got it upside down. Ultimate Daily Tablets. That'll open up your arteries. So our doctor will put you on, instead of giving you Ultimate Daily Tablets. Pills I get from Angevine is much safer than a stent. Eating salad dressing will have oil inside that also clogs your arteries. Absolutely no extra virgin olive oil. The protocol for high blood pressure is to take the bone and joint pack from Angevine. The root of this problem is a calcium deficiency, believe it or not. I would take BioCalcium and Austral FX. This is real calcium. Austral FX. I drink this here. I would take BioCalcium and Austral FX from Angevine.com. Triple Tree chocolate is also great for lowering your blood pressure. Triple Tree chocolate. There's an herb called sarsaparilla that people use for high blood pressure. There's so many ways to get rid of high blood pressure that if you had this problem over 4 months, your caretaker should be put in jail. It only takes 3 months to cure high blood pressure. So if you had this problem for years, your physician isn't trying to cure you. Symptoms of high blood pressure includes dizziness, headaches, fatigue, memory loss, even strokes. Avoid sugar, caffeinated coffee, tea, and red meat, respectively. By the way, selenium prevents HIV from converting to AIDS. If Magic Johnson had taken AZT, he would have died in the 90s. AZT weakens your immune system and it's highly toxic to human cells. It was developed in 1960 to thwart cancer. Today it is given to AIDS patients. The proper protocol would be a blood thinner, a blood cleanse. An herb called sarsaparilla. Minerals called Z radicals, killer biotics, and selenium. Another story that was brushed under the rug was April 25th, 1994. After Evander Holyfield lost a boxing match to Michael Moore, Holyfield was diagnosed with a serious heart condition which banned him from boxing. After receiving Dr. Joe Wally's colloidal minerals, selenium, and the heart and brain pack, the real deal Holyfield became the first heavyweight to win the championship both times. And the rest is history. Let me conclude with Andrew Young, who marched with Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. to bring civil rights to Black people in America. Andrew Young also played a major role in ending apartheid in South Africa. It was Andrew Young who sent Nelson Mandela these minerals from Angevine while he was in jail that permitted Mandela to live 95 years. Had it not been for these colloidal minerals, Nelson Mandela would have died in prison, and we would not be talking about him right now. 4th chapter, and I'm going to conclude after this chapter. The other half of the book, you're going to have to buy the book to read the other half. It's titled Alzheimer's and Dementia. Typically, when you are treated for memory loss, your physician will either treat you for Alzheimer's or dementia. Why is this relevant? Rarely will he treat you for both. And this is important because the cure for Alzheimer's is different than the cure for dementia. Let's start with Alzheimer's. Like I said over and over, it's a lifestyle. You must first stop eating burnt meat, which is called well done. This also gives you colon cancer. Well done meat, burnt meat. Your liver produces cholesterol, but it's not enough cholesterol to cure Alzheimer's, so you must eat 8 to 10 eggs every day if you got Alzheimer's. Take the Healthy Start Pack, as usual, plus 2,000 milligrams of vitamin E if you have Alzheimer's. I repeat, the myelin in your brain is 100% cholesterol. When this goes away from lowering your cholesterol with statin drugs, for example, you get Alzheimer's. Now, if you get Alzheimer's from taking HRT, then you just SOL, you know. In 1958, the pharmaceutical companies came out with hormone replacement therapy. Dr. Joel Wallach, in his book, Truth About Nutrition, says on page 108, it turns out that HRT increases the risk of breast, urine, ovarian cancer by 78%, as well as increase dementia and Alzheimer's by 200%. Yep, for those wondering how to get rid of hot flashes and night sweats without HRT, I suggest you order Women's FX from Angevine.com. Now, let's deal with dementia. The protocol would be the heart and brain pack. You also need to buy some Smart FX. You need to get some Memory FX. You need to take vitamin B12 and de-stress capsules. Dr. Joe Wallach says that taking one ibuprofen a day can reduce dementia by 60%. Let me conclude with an interesting story about Coretta Scott King. She had to have knee surgery and chose the joint and bone pack from Angevine.com. These minerals healed her knees so well that she was able to support Minister Louis Farrakhan at the Million Man March in 1995. So, let me just touch on what diseases you're going to learn when you read the next half of the book, okay? So, I'll just touch on a few of these so you'll see the previews of gout. The cure for gout is in the second half of the book. Okay. About arthritis, we dealt with that already. Back pain, Bell palsy, bone spurs, bone fractures. The cure for PMS, insomnia, kidney stones, muscle cramps, osteoporosis, vertigo, tendinitis, receding gums. You're also going to learn in the second half of the book the cure for alopecia. That's that disease that Jada Pinkett got. I can't even say the word. Alopecia. Well, that's the cure for that. The Alzheimer's, we talked about that already. Blood clots, cardiovascular disease, menopause, infertility, low libidos, low sperm count, miscarriages. Yes, you can learn a cure for dermatitis, macular degeneration. We talked about that already. You can also learn the cure for infertility, bipolar, autism, ADHD. Wow. Night sweats, obesity. We talked about obesity already. Adrenal failure. We're also going to learn the cure for celiac, Crohn's disease, dermatitis, diarrhea, heartburn, immune disorders, leaky gut, irritable bowel syndrome, yeast infection. And that'll be about it. I want to, if you want the book, I would like you to know that I did not write a 100-page book. This is actually an ebook for the people who wanted to actually read it. I just downloaded the 25 pages for those because they were saying they can't read an ebook on their phone. The words is too small, so that's the reason why I downloaded it. Even though it's only 25 pages, it's still going to cost $20 if you're interested in the ebook. If you go to YouTube and it's no longer there, this video is no longer there, that means they took it down for TMI, too much information. Thank you. Namaste.